Hi, this is Ebony Jackson, your lead peer champion in CLC, and today we will be discussing breastfeeding and nutrition. So let's go ahead and jump right in. What you'll need first is some butternut squash. And what I'm holding here is some pre-cut butternut squash that you can get in the produce section of places like Shop and Save and Giant Eagle. And this is something that you can get on WIC. I don't know of too many people that know that, but as long as it doesn't have any sugar or salt added, you can purchase it. And then this is a whole butternut squash. So all you would need to do is use a peeler, and then you can chop it right on up like I have here, have already done. So these are about the sizes that I like to use, and you can use bigger or smaller, just, adjust your cooking time. And then I have sliced some red onions, and these too, they can be as big or as thin or as thick as you would like. I have a can of chickpeas, and just a heads up, you will be hearing my children because I could not get away to record this. But if you cannot find it to say chickpeas, it will say garbanzo beans. And you can actually find those in the Mexican section as well. And these are all the spices that you'll need: a little bit of thyme, fennel, smoked paprika, salt, pepper, and I'll have all of the measurements in the description. And then here is the olive oil that we will be using for today. So we'll need a pan large enough to hold all of your things. Go ahead and line that with some parchment paper or aluminum foil. And we're going to put all of our ingredients on there: the chickpeas, the red onions, and the butternut squash. And what I love about making dishes like this is that they're so easy, especially for moms that are busy and on the go. I mean, one of my main things that I like to look up on Pinterest is one sheet pan meals or one pot meals. And it keeps things moving right along. And these dishes are always filled with nutrition, so it makes it very guilt-free in my mind to eat and just be happy about what I'm putting on the table that night. So what you're going to do is go ahead and spread that out, some olive oil on top of all of those vegetables. And if you're ever looking for ways for your children to help you in the kitchen, I believe that this is one of them. There's always all of those cool little sensory events that people create. And as a mom of 7, I kind of am over those. I try to use as much real life sensory as I can. And I find cooking to meet that need. So you can get your children in here. They can help you spread them all out, and you can talk to them why it's important that we need to spread everything out evenly so they cook evenly, and you get that discussion in there and that language and comprehension. And I went ahead and sprinkled some of those seasonings on there. And another thing that they could do, pour it in. Even if they dropped it on the pan, it would be completely okay, right? And they can go ahead and toss that up some more. And yeah, it's pretty easy. Once you get the hang of it, and I'm pretty sure most of you are already experts in the kitchen, and I'm just really honored to share this with you guys. So this is what it looks like once everything is mixed together. And doesn't that already look so delicious? Like, it hasn't even been in the oven yet, and it's just coated with all of that deliciousness. And yeah, it looks as good or it tastes as good as it looks. So go ahead and pop that in a preheated oven of 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. I would say check it every time to make sure it's not burnt or anything like that. So what I am using here is some bagged kale, but you can use whatever kale that you have access to. And once again, you can buy bagged vegetables with WIC as long as there is no sugar or salt added. And what I'm doing now is just removing all of the stems. After I had washed and dried my kale, I am removing all of the stems. Now this is optional. You can keep it in there if you want, but I do have little ones and I try to make my job as easy as possible when it comes to cutting their food and stuff. Oh my goodness, I hate making a meal and then having to still cut things for them, and for me that is just daunting. But this is yet again another great fine motor activity for your children to do, to get those pinchers strong, and they can go ahead and remove things from the stem. And I'm sure they're going to be asking those questions. Why, mommy? Why do we have to do that? And you can go ahead and share that with them as to why you would like to keep the stems on or take the stems off. So during this part, we are preparing our kale to be massaged. And the purpose of massaging the kale is to get those leaves to be as tender as we can get them to be. So we'll drizzle a little olive oil on them. And you don't need much. You really don't. And you want to go ahead and just start massaging your kale. You just take bunches at a time and just have them run through your fingers and just give them some TLC, okay? And once again, this is another great task for the little ones to do. And look, honestly, I love when my children help me in the kitchen because I can keep an eye on them. Sometimes they'll get into things while I'm cooking and I'm like, oh no. Where I have to stop, I have to wash my hands, I have to run upstairs and try to figure out what is going on. But when they're with me in the kitchen, yes, it can take maybe some extra steps in the beginning. Yes, it can be a lot of redirecting and explaining, but at the end of the day, they got to really learn something new. They got to bond with their mama and siblings, and they get to enjoy what they created. You know, as we sit at the table, I'm like, hey, you helped me massage this kale, right? Or you helped me stir this, or you helped me pour that. So why don't you give it a taste? And for those who are battling with selective eaters, or what people call picky eaters, this is a great way to get your children to try new things. My children will even put this kale in their mouth like, I want to taste it like this. And I'm like, okay, go right ahead. My daughter actually likes raw butternut squash now because of her eating it from us preparing it. I still have yet to taste it. I have no desire to eat raw butternut squash, but she enjoyed it, and that was a fun moment for us to share. So yeah, you can just go ahead and massage it. And as you can see, it has really gotten smaller in size. If you've ever cooked like collards or spinach, once you cook them, you know you have this teeny tiny bit. That's kind of like what's going on here. You're going to massage it down to just this little bit of kale. Okay, so once your things are done, I have my kale over there, and I have some rice prepared and some homemade hummus. I did not film myself making that hummus, but I figured it was pretty self-explanatory. And there are my my somewhat burnt onions, but it's okay. Of course, when I'm making food for people and trying to demonstrate all of the things, but they turned out delicious. It really did. I love onions any type of way. Cooked onions are my favorite onions. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin to assemble this. You can honestly do whatever you want, but I do try to make my food look a bit appealing to my children, so when they go to taste it, they're like, okay, like I can see this and I can see that, and not to me. Oh, put it in your mouth. I'm sorry, my little guy's here. It looks appealing to them. So I put down my rice first, and then I took a good, hearty amount of kale, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that butternut squash mixture to the plate. And I am already reminiscing on me having this for lunch. It was delicious. I am so sorry for the background noise. If it's too much, I apologize. I'll listen back to it. If it's not too bad, I'm gonna just post it. But yeah, so I put all of those on in that nice little trio. And then I'm just going to take a nice dollop of this homemade hummus. And you can also buy store bought hummus. It literally does not matter. Unfortunately, hummus is not covered under WIC, but most of the ingredients are covered under WIC. So you have your fresh lemon juice, you have your chickpeas, you have your garlic, and that's pretty much what hummus is. All right, and then I put a little bit of parsley on top to make it pretty for everybody. But that is my meal. That is my recreation of my roasted veggies on rice. And what I put here were some nutritional facts about butternut squash. You can pause and read these again. It's so important for us mamas to be fueling ourselves with whole foods and getting the fiber and the protein and the healthy fats in our diet to not necessarily make more milk, but to be in the right, stable, neutral mindset for the challenges that are coming up ahead. Okay, so stay hydrated and eat healthy. Okay, so here is my toddler enjoying the meal that I made. I think it is toddler approved. I think the way he is just loving on this makes me so happy. So if you give this a try, let me know. I want to know. Share your photos or share what you liked or what you didn't like. And I hope we can do something like this again. So I'm going to put a link in the comment section. Go ahead and fill that out if you watched the video for you to get a chance to win a $25 gift card just for watching this video. How cool is that? But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to DM me or leave them in the comment section below. Okay, Ezra, see you later. Bye, ladies.